Welcome everyone to our OER celebration, and ask Dr. Raley to provide greetings and welcome to everyone.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome everybody. It's great to see you here. Thank you for taking time out from your relaxing summer, I hope, to join with us. And I know we've got a lot to celebrate today, so I just want to begin by saying thank you very much. This is great work that you all have been doing. I hope you have found it intellectually stimulating yourself. But I also know that this is an extraordinarily important service that we've been providing our students with giving them the option of attending your classes and attending classes more broadly across the college and being able to access the learning materials through these open educational resources rather than having to pay for textbooks or other materials as such. So this is an extraordinary service that makes education much more accessible to everybody. So it goes hand in hand with our commitment to equity and access. So I just want to thank you very much. I want to thank Michael and Priscilla and all those on the steering committee that have been leading this, Audrey Davis and others who have been supporting with professional development, but primarily here, all the faculty that have given so much of your time and of your expertise in looking for implementing, adopting resources that again support your students' learning in the classroom. So I just profoundly thankful and grateful for the work that you've done here. Thank you.
Thank you, Clay. I want to welcome the faculty. I want to welcome staff members, and I also want to welcome students. We probably have about maybe 15 to 20 students on here as well. As you guys know, their voice has really been instrumental in terms of pushing for open educational resources through SGA and just providing feedback as well. I wanted to start off just by saying that it's really been an honor to be on the steering committee and to be able to work with a group of people that, you know, have this type of commitment to our students. When I first came to the college and I thought about the type of impact and, you know, what was important to me, you know, teaching was really the most important thing to me. But having this opportunity to serve on the steering committee with others on the steering committee and to work with faculty has really created an opportunity for me about Prince George's Community College and higher education that I never really thought that I'd get a chance to experience. And I'm really grateful to have this opportunity. I thought about this recognition ceremony and I wanted to just really kind of hone in on why I think that most of us are here. You know, why do we teach? We teach because we want to impact people's lives. And I think that most of us believe that education is an equalizer, that we know that life isn't fair. And we know that if someone has education, that they're going to be able to get a good job. They're going to be able to change their life. They're going to be able to turn their life around. So as a result of that, I believe that in our hearts, most of us came to education to teach because we wanted to change people's lives. In terms of open educational resources, well, why are we doing that? The obvious reason is that we want to be able to save students money. Another benefit from it is that the longer we do it, we actually have the opportunity to improve pedagogy. We get to actually create and customize and come up with the exact message that we want to give to students through our instructional material that we create. But I think the most important reason why that we're doing it is because of equity. We know that when students walk through the door in that first day, and the students that don't have the textbook, we know what trajectory they're on by just not having that textbook. And we know that we can have brilliant students in our class, but the first day of class, by them not having that textbook, and then by them waiting for their financial aid to come in or waiting for their book to come in, we realize the impact that it has on them. And we realize that it's not fair because right now, decisions are being made based upon your access to resources as opposed to your intelligence and your capability, especially in this day and age when we think about equity, the reason why the institution is moving towards open educational resources and have put so much time, energy, and effort is because all of us realize that that student that walks through the door that doesn't have the resources, we don't want them to be at a disadvantage. When we think about Prince George's Community College, we're located in Prince George's County, Maryland. And you might say, well, Prince George's County, Maryland, it has one of the most affluent populations of African Americans. That's true. But it's really a tale of two counties. There's a select group of people in Prince George's County that make a boatload of money. And there's a lot of people in Prince George's County that are struggling. I mean, really struggling. Parts of Prince George's County are referred to as Ward 9. When you look at some of the areas that are around closer to Washington, D.C., and if you look at some of the income and the employment, and if you especially look at our Hispanic population, it's great for us to be able to say we live in one of the most affluent counties for African Americans, you know, throughout the United States. But the truth is, for our students that we have in our classrooms, the ones that's coming to our institution, these students that are coming to us, a lot of them aren't a part of that group. They're not a part of that class. So when we talk about equity and the importance of what we're doing, we need to realize that although this county is doing great for a select group of people, there's many people in this county that are suffering and that are struggling. And there's so many of them. There's just select areas and select pockets that give us that sense of, you know, other people are really suffering, but, you know, what's $100 or $150 for a textbook for people that live in this area? And for people that live in this area, it really does make a difference. So we have this recognition ceremony, and as faculty members, we think about all the ways that we can support our students. I've come across faculty members that have done outside tutoring, they've done mentoring, they've helped with housing, they've done all types of supportive things. But when we think about the people that are being recognized today, they started thinking about OERs because they wanted to impact students' lives. And they did something that wasn't easy to do. Took a lot of time, took a lot of energy, took a lot of resources. And in some cases, it wasn't even supported by their colleagues. Some of their colleagues said to them, hey, this stuff isn't vetted, you know, it's really not worth doing it. You're doing a disservice to the students. So for people that are engaging in OERs, whether you're being recognized today or not, my hat's off to you because you took the time, the energy, the effort to do something that didn't benefit you. Because as an educator, you wanted to impact people's lives. So you took the time to research, to create materials, to vet, to push back sometimes with some of your colleagues to say, I really want to do this because it's the right thing to do. And I really applaud and respect that. There's nothing wrong with using publisher material. For people that aren't engaging in OERs, this is not a criticism of them, but the publisher materials are easy, the information's available. And what you did is that you went above and beyond what was needed because you care and you wanted to support your students. So I just wanted to take a minute and to applaud you. I want to also share some numbers and just kind of let you know where we are. So in terms of open educational resources and zero cost instruction materials for students, in the spring of 19, we had 141 sections and about 2,000 students. And our savings was about $172,000. A year later, we went up to about 279 sections. We doubled the amount of students being served, and the savings more than doubled as well. In terms of general education, we've made a lot of headway. I'm not going to read the information on the slide, but you can see that in all the categories of general education, we have open educational alternatives, and they're actually growing. I know that in the near future, we're going to be having Communications 1010 as well as others. And this last slide, it's providing data, and it's just a snapshot of where we are. All of the departments aren't listed because when I pulled this together, I just could not get in contact with everyone, and the numbers may not be 100% accurate, but it gives you a good idea of where we are. There's been growth in all of the divisions, and there's been growth in all of the departments. And I wanted to just present this slide as a snapshot to just pretty much show the work that we've been doing and the progress that we've made across our divisions and across our departments. What I would like to do now is turn it over to Comfort. Comfort is a former information technology student, and I asked her to provide a student perspective for us today.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Comfort Jato. I'm a recent graduate of the college. And during my time at the college, I was fortunate to have had a scholarship that paid for my tuition and my books. For 2.5 years, I didn't have to purchase books. Even though in the summer, I had everything paid for. If I was asked 2 semesters ago to give a speech on why open education resources would be beneficial to students, I wouldn't really have had much to say. But during spring of 2020, I transferred to the University of Maryland College Park. And I didn't have the same opportunity that I had with the Promise Scholarship program that I was in at the at Prince George's Community College. So transferring to Maryland this semester, I spent over $500 on books, which I could have used towards my tuition. But it was only $500 because I had 2 classes that gave us all the resources that we needed. So it could have been more than that. So as a student that went from tuition paid for, books paid for, to having to pay for my own tuition and books at the same time, it was really difficult for me. And if I've had the same opportunity that I had for the past 2.5 years, I would have really appreciated it. During my time at PG, I was in a class where I didn't have to pay for anything, but there were some students who had to take pictures of other people's textbooks in order to complete assignments. And also the pressure of having to pay for books costing over $200 and access code costing over $100 just to access materials to complete assignment and to be successful in the classroom. I believe that if every student had the opportunity to go to school and not pay for books or tuition, it would be great for everyone. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comfort. I really, really appreciate it. So we're going to move into the part of the program now where we have faculty ambassadors that will be speaking. And our first faculty ambassador will be Nicole Clark.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I have the pleasure of just talking about the implementation of OER in Wellness Culinary Arts and Hospitality Department. First of all, just that it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just kind of going outside of the textbooks to find resources and guides that just kind of allowed me to do what I love to do, is to teach. So to be able to participate in this project for the department was really exhilarating. My focus was in the hospitality course 1580, which was using technology in hospitality. So it certainly made sense considering that the nature of the course was technology. It just allowed me to find some alternative options, because with hospitality, the industry is forever evolving and changing. So even with the textbook, and as great as it was, sometimes in a matter of a week, it became outdated. So the OER implementation just really allowed the course to really stay up to date. We ran it with an OER format for the first time this semester, and we had a 95% pass rate with it. You know, I held a large role in the implementation and the creation or adapting and adopting the resources, but I actually partnered with an adjunct instructor to facilitate the course, and it worked out well. Professor Davis, was felt that she had ample materials in order to address the 17 students on a weekly basis for a 3 to 4 hour class time. So she was in the evening. And it was just great. In addition to focusing on that one class, it also allowed me to partner with colleagues within our department because we kind of really took initiative to really implement this into all 4 programs within the Wellness Culinary Arts program. So I also helped in facilitating as a lead in developing a project plan, not just for the one course with HSM 1580, but for the entire department with the goal of implementing 4 courses. We were able to really push through 2 for the spring, but that effort is still moving forward. So it's been great. It's been great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Nicole. If Julie's on, she's next.
Hello, I'm Julie Gordon. I am the pre-STEM math coordinator. And last summer, I was the least enthusiastic member of the math department team that developed the OER for pre-calculus part 1. And just to emphasize, the one thing that really changed my mind was my very first day using the OER in the classroom. It was the best start to a semester that I've ever had. Every student got registered on the online homework platform and was able to start their homework immediately. Every student had access to the electronic textbook immediately. None of the students had to worry about losing temporary access after a couple of weeks. So thanks to the OER, we had been able to remove some of the obstacles that our students encounter right at the beginning of the semester, and we got all of our students off to a great start. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And next we have Cindy.
Michael, I want to say thank you for that beautiful introduction. I think we all sort of know what you say and we have it in the back of our minds. But some days are harder than others, and it was really nice to hear you put it so incredibly beautifully how important what we do every single day is. So thank you for that. Beyond what worked for the students, I really, what Clay said about intellectual challenges, that really resonates with me. I had a ball trying to figure out, I teach food science, that's the class, Nutrition 1100 that we converted. And I had an absolute ball trying to figure out for myself, what's the story that I want to tell about this course? What's the beginning? How do I develop that story into a middle? How do I wrap it up for the students so that they walk away feeling like they have had a coherent experience? And then how do I break it down into each unit and each class? And Michael, as you said, if you adopt a book, a lot of that work has been done for you. And some of it's beautiful, some of it's brilliant, some of it is maddening. I don't agree with all of it. And it was absolutely fabulous to sort of clear the table and build my own course from scratch.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate that. Ernest?
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and be able to share my thoughts on OERs. I was asked, to join the committee by Professor Clark, and when she said that she put forth the plan, she definitely put forth a strong plan for the faculty in our department to work towards different goals, breaking down the meaning of OER, how to implement it, what's the benefits of it for our students, and just kind of outlining the work that has to be done. And it was a huge learning curve for me. 2450, CUL 2450 International Cuisine. I'm trying to find resources for students to cook from Asian cuisine, Italian, French, and just South America, East Africa cuisine. And it was a challenge. It was a challenge, and I was trying. Towards the end of it, I was able to say, the light bulb came on. Said, "Hey, you got to find reliable, sustainable resources that are strong and that are going to drive students to the learning outcomes." I was trying to get bits and pieces from this source and that's. I was making it real tedious when the light bulb came on, and Professor Clark was like, "No, this should be like this." So I was like, "Wow, now I get it." But then the time kind of ran out on the timetable to implement the course for the spring 2020. So there's still some work to be done, but I'm glad to be a part of the OER committee, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Peria?
I'm Peria Parto from Biology Department, and I implanted the OER for my Bio 2050 Anatomy and Physiology 1. I had a great experience during fall and spring. First, I contacted the Lumen Publishing, and they came to the college and implant the OER resources on my Blackboard, and then I do some changes there, and I adapted everything with the objectives which I have for previous years. And it's very good because my students anywhere can use it at any time, and all the times I can update it. For anatomy and physiology, we need many videos, and fortunately, we have many good videos in YouTube or the other resources. So I posted all of the videos for them, and I'm happy to use OER for my 2050. But the only problem is this: I cannot use it for 2060 for anatomy and physiology too, because some students come to my 2060 classes with books from their 2050. So they like to use their books. And I think right now I can use it only for anatomy and physiology 1, not 2. But I have a great experience, specifically during this pandemic. They have everything in their Blackboard, and they can use it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm going to go back and share the screen again. And we'd like for Dr. Raley to announce and recognize some of the faculty OER ambassadors. And I just want to take a minute before Dr. Raley comes on and say that there's been a lot of people that have been involved in the OER movement at the college. And I'm sure there's people that we've missed, but these people here have really gone above and beyond in terms of developing OERs, in terms of being able to encourage faculty members, in terms of vetting, in terms of sharing resources and providing training. And even if everyone's not reflected here, as we continue to move forward, we'll make sure that the list expands. That being said, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Raley.
This is a great honor to be able to participate in honoring you all for the work that you've done. And Muhammad Ali, you're relatively new to the college, and yet you've just jumped right in here. So thank you very much, Muhammad, for what you've done here for your students and for the program. Nicole Bishop, Nikki. I don't know if Nikki's here today, but again, very important area. And so thank you, Nikki. Terry, the heart of education. So thank you very much, Terry, for this work and this leadership here. And Nicole, you spoke so eloquently earlier about your experience with this, and this is a great area. So thank you, Nicole, for your leadership in this area. And Julie, what a great conversion story. That was fabulous. And that's exactly what it is. First day, they're ready to go. So thank you very much, Julie. Spread the word. Cindy, in all things, you're so generous with your resources and your expertise. And I loved your image of teaching as telling a story. I think that's excellent. It took me 65 years to hear that and get it, but thank you. That lived with me for a while. But thank you, Cindy, for your leadership there. Zudu Hatamariam, again, a very important field. Thank you for providing your students with this resource, and thank you. Ernest Chef, again, thank you for leading in this way, a great service to your students, and helping to elevate our culinary program to the stature it deserves. Thank you. Judy, and I don't know if Judy's here. I majored in economics as an undergraduate, so I can appreciate what Judy does in the classroom, and I very much appreciate, Judy, your leadership here in the business department in bringing OERs there to your students. Thank you. Paria, thank you. Great, that's a very important course, Anatomy and Physiology, and so that's excellent what you've done there, and thank you again for the time that you've taken to give that to your students. And Aretha, again, back in education. Aretha, thank you very much for your leadership in providing your students with this resource. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raley. We really appreciate that.
Good afternoon, everyone. One of the things that the committee has attempted to do is to make sure that all areas that are involved with teaching understand the value and see OERs as something that truly supports our students. In the beginning of fall of 2019, I was asked to teach a workforce development class. Normally, I teach in the business department, and so it was a supervision course. And I said, sure. And it was only 4 weeks. So along with everything else on the plate, I jumped right in there. But I was so pleasantly surprised to find students who were really looking for the application of supervision. They didn't need the theory. They didn't need where it came from and what it was based upon. Their place of employment had sent them because they were new supervisors. It was so exciting to have students who were anxious to learn, who wanted to go back and try what we had discussed in class the previous week. It was always an opportunity for me to really see learning in action. And of course, I immediately started thinking, when I saw the book that was being used, this isn't really helpful. So let me see what I can pull together quickly. And then I began, because I was serving on the committee, to say, I wonder how many others could benefit from using the resources that they use when they're training, when they are in the field. And so I took on the goal of including our workforce development group and continuing education area in understanding the benefits of OERs. And having taught the supervision class on the credit side, I could also see how these two classes could be joined together, with the application portion being offered and that portion being where our continuing education students can participate and get excited because they're learning right along with the credit students, and perhaps decide to come back and get that associate's degree. So the opportunity of bringing two areas together and showing the benefit to both of how OERs can bring our students together and get one excited about continuous learning is something that I've taken on, and I'm committed to bringing over to the continuing education areas. So it's a wonderful way of not only supporting the learning environment, but also having our students share with one another the application of their learning, as well as the desire to become a lifelong learner.
I'd like to share with you guys a video that was created by the marketing and communications team that just kind of documents our journey so far. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Marketing and communications team put together some footage from some of the OER work sessions we have. And I thought it was just nice to kind of capture and reflect kind of where we come from. And I'd like to kind of just move into what's next for us. So I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. So in terms of what's next, the college is committed to hiring an OER coordinator, and hopefully that person will be brought on board sometime in the fall. Many of our librarians have received OER certifications, various types of OER certifications to support our work as faculty members. Many of the faculty members have mentioned before that this is a lot to take on and that we really need support. So as a result of that feedback, the librarians have been getting certifications. The college is committed to hiring several instructional designers as well that should be present sometimes during the fall. Faculty members have also said, hey, in terms of creating these courses, how do we know if we got it right? And many departments have asked for checklists, and the steering committee now is working on a checklist that can be available for people as they're creating courses to make sure that they have the important components. There's also been discussion about printing, so we're going to work with the bookstore. So for the open educational resources instructional material, if someone wanted a printed copy of that resource, that they could get it from the bookstore at a very low cost. One of the things that we're really excited about is creating a dashboard. So we don't have to wait for these meetings or updates to see our progress. But once that dashboard is created, anyone can log in, internal or external to the college, to see our progress. One of the most exciting and most important things that I wanted to speak about is moving from OER course development, but moving to OER program development. So right now we have one certificate program that is a Z certificate, zero cost to students. And we are close. If you go back, or if you remember that general education slide, all of our areas, our gen ed, have been represented. And we are very close to being able to create Z degrees. Probably the areas that would lend itself to it easily. Education has been doing a lot. So a certificate program for the education, we're probably, this close to it. In terms of general studies, and we know that's one of the largest areas, or the largest area, I believe, that students sign up for here. We're probably this close to it, And for our information technology AS degree, we're pretty close to it. And we really now need to start looking at, what type of options can we make available in terms of programs and not just courses. And the OER steering committee, we're really looking for partners in terms of helping us get over this little bubble that we need to get over, because we are so close. And I want to just take a minute and thank the department chairs, because they've been in support of OERs. They've been documenting, they've been encouraging faculty, and it's really been a lot of their work that's caused this to happen, even if it's behind the scenes. So I really want to thank the chair's work. But I also want to, put out a challenge to the chairs as well as to the faculty members. We're so close, right? The hard work is done. You guys are leading the way. And we really need you guys to encourage each other. I don't necessarily need to name courses, but we know those high enrollment courses that, you know, could really put us over the top and could really make a difference. We're not suggesting that you create an OER course for the sake of just doing an OER course. We're not trying to ask you to put a round peg in a square hole. We've created courses that were OER. And then after a period of time, we realized it wasn't a good fit. And we pulled back on it because the goal is not to do something for the sake of doing it. We want to do it because it absolutely makes sense. So we are very close to OER programs. We're very close to Z degrees and Z certificates. And I know that it's summertime, but I'm really hoping that we can take this opportunity to look at our schedules, look at our lives, and to see how close we are and see who is willing to take some time to see what we can do to move over and to be able to complete some of these. That being said, I'd like to just take a few minutes and just open it up for questions. I know that we have faculty, I know that we have staff, we have students. So if there are any questions, I'd love to try to attempt to answer them, or maybe someone from the steering committee might be able to as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alicia Jackson Warren from the Office of Career Development and Internships. It's so good to see everybody, and I am just grateful for having been invited to participate in this event. This was just fantastic to hear how innovative Prince George's Community College is and what the institution is doing to offset the challenge of enrollment for so many of our students. We know the data talks about the fact that we have students who come from low-income households who find higher education, or at least access to higher education, difficult because of financial barriers. And so open educational resources helps to offset that major barrier for those students. I also want to commend the faculty for their willingness to design courses and programs to support this initiative. It is fantastic. It speaks well to your commitment to our students and to what our institution is about. I am just honored to be in your company and would certainly like to hear more on what the Office of Student Academic Planning and Career Readiness can do to support this. My office supports advising for our students, and we certainly want to be able to promote open educational resources and be well informed to do so. So I am very much open to hearing what you all have to share in that regard, and thank you for this platform.
Thank you very much, Alicia. We really appreciate the feedback.
My pleasure.
Did anyone have any questions or any comments, anything they'd like to share, or any questions? Well, in closing, I would like to just reiterate my gratefulness to the people that have been working on the OERs, whether you've been recognized or not, the amount of time, energy, and effort that you put into this, it's beyond noteworthy. And the fact that, you know, the reason why you do it is not self-serving. The reason why you became a teacher is not self-serving. You did this because you wanted to impact your students in a positive way. And you did this, and you took the time, the energy, the effort to make sure that on day one, all students are going to be ready to go. And this climate that we're in right now, and thinking about equity, to make sure that everyone has the ability to join our classes and be successful. I think that it's just one of those things that where it makes sense, it's real important for us to do it. And I really just want to thank the people that took the time to go out on a limb without a lot of support and a lot of resources to make this happen. So I appreciate everyone's time, energy, and effort. And I especially want to say thank you for those that have been participating and supporting the OERs. You guys have a great afternoon. Thanks again.